Good morning. It's Fish the Beach Bum Investor with your cryptocurrency discussion and report. It's the 12th of the 12th, 2017. That works for whichever way you do the date, so that works out nicely. Just going to post up in Discord and let everyone know we're here for the convo. Won't be a second. I am late today, which has been pointed out by Ethercept. He said I'm 16 minutes late and he wants his 0 BTC subscription fee back. Well, I can't afford the transaction fees, mate, so I won't be paying that live now. Yes, 0 BTC subscription fee to the Crypto Wave Investment Crew. Okay, let's have a look at the market and see how we've gone in the last 24 hours. It's been fairly steady, really. Not many moves from some of the most of the coins, but Litecoin has been a big exception to that. G'day, Pablo. How you going? Coin market cap. Just bring up coin market cap so I can take a look and see where we're trending. Joe, Ethereum, it's going up, is it? Oh, hadn't even seen it. 2 big thumbs up for Ethereum. It's nice to see, $513. I hadn't even seen that. Wow, this last hour has really taken off. Okay. I mean, I do go on and on about this, but check on that Asia wake up time, guys, because it does tend to bring fresh money into the economy. And it's this time every day. So it's a trend that seems to happen more often than not for mine. Did you like that one, Mike? Thanks, man. That's cool of you for sharing it. Thank you. That's cool. Yeah, I just did an interview with Roger Ver and Dr. Evil, for those of you who haven't seen it. It was a bit of fun. I'm working on my editing skills. Got to get A-Dog's rap going, so thought I'd test my editing skills on a bit of fun with Dr. Evil and Roger Ver. Yeah, man, it was just a bit of fun. Thanks, Floyd. G'day, BB. Yeah, so, oh, man, this economy is looking crazy. So let's go Bitcoin first. Bitcoin 16,845, up 4.89%. I got a, it might have been Floyd, actually. Was it you, Floyd? Someone put a comment in the Discord group saying, hey, Fish, I thought this was supposed to be a bear market. What's going on with this bullish activity? Well, sometimes you eat your words. Having said that, can we really call highs of 20 grand dropping down to 16,008 a bull market, or is it just a bloody volatile market? So I don't think it's either a bear or a bull at the moment. I sent it to a lot of bigger BTC people than me. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, no worries. Joe says NEM looks good for a short hold. I think NEM looks good for a long hold, actually, Joe, because they got what's that Asian messaging platform, WeChat? Is that what it's called? They got added to that, man. That's huge news for them. So, you know, let's retrace a bit from that 60-cent mark that it was hitting. Jesus, it's gone up though, 17% again in the last 24 hours. So it was getting, the whole economy has been quite volatile with a lot of speculation about futures trading, which is interesting because CBOE trading's open, but CME trading doesn't open until Monday. So a few days to go on that. I think that's when you're really going to see some more action in the market. Although having said that, they could wait like I'm doing because I was kind of trained by the big guys. So maybe the big guys will do the same. You know, that's my training coming through. Okay. Yeah, NEM's going to be used as currency, absolutely. Mike said, hey, I would like you to look into 803 Minefish. I'm very interested and am being asked to be a promoter for them in Vegas, where they are moving to. 803 Mine. Okay, we can have a look at it. Let me just make sure I can find it on CoinMarketCap first. If we are talking about that, we can have a look at it. I've never heard of it, but we can have a look. Or sure. 803. Let me see if it's. You're going to have to clarify on that because I'm not sure what 803 Mine is. Is it an ICO? Because I can't see it on. CoinMarketCap. I'd have to have a look at it. If you send me some info, Mike, over at the. Are you on our Discord group? I can never remember who is and who isn't. But if you're in our Discord group, just send it to me over there. I can take a look and we can go through it on the show for sure. Joe said, XEM looking good as well. XEM being XEM. Oh, NEM, yeah, that's the code. Yeah, NEM's looking good as well. Ripple long looks very good. There's just a lot of pressure at 26 cents. Yeah, I think Ripple will explode one day. I've said a long time there's going to be use cases for the smaller financial institutions, even if the big banks go their own way. That's pretty cool. I want to become, well, Mike said we want to become America's largest alt mining concern in Vegas. I want to become the largest miner in Tweed Heads. I think if I just got one AMP miner going, that I'd possibly be the largest miner in Tweed Heads. So that's what I'm going to start with. Wilkie and I are having a look, and Joe, not the Joe that's on this chat, Crypto Care Joe, we're having a look at setting up like a mining farm in Tweed Heads, believe it or not, in my house. We're just costing it out at the moment to see whether it's going to be a good, we'll get a good return on our investment. But I'll tell you what, we were looking at mining Litecoin, and it's $224. Litecoin's gone berserk. Everything's going berserk. Litecoin's up 48% in the last 24 hours, 118% in the last 7 days. That's flat out growth patterns. Hey, I tell you what, Charlie Lee's going hard on the like the publicity side of things, though, and he's basically taking the missed out on Bitcoin approach with the marketing side of things, and I think it's going to work. I got to tell you, I think there's a lot of people who feel like they missed out. They're only just learning about crypto now, and Litecoin at $200 still seems like a great option compared to Bitcoin at 16,000, especially when they start to move it around the economy and realizes the current advantages of Bitcoin. I know there are scaling solutions proposed. Current advantages of Litecoin. I know there are scaling solutions proposed for Bitcoin. I think so, BB Junkie, because it's new. BB Junkie said to me Ven, which is VE chain. For those of you who haven't had a look at it, it's pretty impressive. Is that working on RFID technology? I can't remember, but it's certainly looking like a promising project in terms of commerce. I quite like it, and packaging and things like that. It looks like a good a good startup for mine, and certainly has potential to go big. Could fall away as well. That's the way these things go. But VE chain looked pretty solid last time I checked. Starting to go again. I haven't picked any up because you just got to. I didn't hate it, but I'm actually looking at one I'll tell you about in a second. For me, and it's sort of in a similar vein to VE chain, I guess. Oh geez, it's had a good run. Look at that, 57 cents. Nice work, man. You've been calling that one for a long time, BB Junkie. I hope you've got a nice big bag of it, man, because yeah, I think it is. It looks like a downward trend at the last part if you actually draw your lines in from a couple of days ago. Say if you were to draw your lines in from all-time highs on the 6th of December, it's actually got a downward trend at the moment, and it should be like if it breaks. Okay, really basic TA for you right now, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Why don't I bring you over onto the I'll bring you over onto screen share rather than doing it this way, because this is a good one to have a look at. Screen share. Let's do a little Smithonomics and Fibonacci sequence. All right, here we go. We're going to have a look here, and we're going to go on to VE chain. We'll have a little bit of look at the website too, because it was quite impressive. I quite liked it. We might even watch a little video that they have. But yeah, what I wanted to show you with, Smithonomics, you see how the peaks are getting lower, and actually the bottoms are getting lower, and just this last little trend part, that is actually a downward channel. Like, the question is, most people would say if it breaks through, see how you draw a line through the top here? So if this actually breaks through now, like that line, which it's basically deciding whether or not to right now. So is it going to continue this downward channel, or is it going to break through? Is it going to break the downward channel and end up, maybe moving sideways for a bit and going up? That's a decision you've got to make. Really, for mine, there is a clear downward channel just in the last part, but the further you go back, the more that turns into an upward path, right? you can get your lines going like this. Sorry if that looks funny, but that's Smithonomics and Fibonacci sequence. It's not really overly technical. Anyway, let's have a look at the website. As I said, I was quite impressed with the website when I jumped on here and had a look at it after BB Junkie shilling it for ages and ages and ages. Live for collaboration, VeChain powered. I like the fact they had Wayne on the homepage. Forget where the video is. I'll just watch this a bit further and just see whether just the video, even without the sound, gives you a sort of an idea. Yeah, you can see there. I'm pretty sure it's using RFID chips. And I'm sorry if I've got that wrong. I think it's RFID. The thing that Walton bloody invented, that guy, which gets me onto something that I'm actually getting pretty bullish on, which is Walton coin. And the reason I'm getting bullish on it is because it's taken retracements and gets me into that point where I actually want to start buying. But no, VeChain's website looked really impressive. They're obviously starting out in an Asian market. Yeah, so I can translate that all to English, and we'll go through that. We'll go through that on another show when I can figure out the how to get that to English translation. Stop screen sharing. I will. Hello, back. And I'm just going to come over to the live chat. Is that the live chat? Yes, it is. Yes. So bottom line is, you know, I think it's I think that if they were able to do it, you know, if they're able to achieve that sort of RFID tracking and marketplace, it looks like a good project. But that does bring me onto one that's getting a little low for mine at the moment, which is Walton coin. And that's one that I'm really starting to get bullish on because of I talk about real world development all the time as being key. You know, it's all good to make these promises, but I want to see it being done in the real world. And Walton's one that's doing that. They've got some partnerships in China already. And, you know, the Chinese manufacturing industrial sector is massive, 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 massive. It's a Chinese project looking to actually really service that sector. And Walton coin, I think Walton coin has a big future. I really do. Now, the reason I was looking at it this morning is because it was popping down to those $7 marks. It was 707 when I was looking. 731 already. Okay, so it was 707 this morning. Having said that, at 731, it's still well off historical highs, and I liken it to a Chinese version of Factum almost. Well, not really, but just in terms of the fact that they've both had progress in the real business world, and that's what I like about it. So yeah, I'm getting more and more bullish on Walton. I got to tell you that it's something that sort of slipped under my radar for a while, but has had reasonably good retracements. I'm just going to look at the chart here, but I think the all-time highs were well over $10, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they were. So the all-time highs got to, well, not well over, but they were over $10. So I think, you know, at this sort of time, you know, using the old Fibonacci sequence where it was stable at 5, grew to 10, so I start buying back at 750. I think this is a good time for me to start really taking a look at Walton coin because I think it does have a future. Yeah, it's one that I'm getting bullish on. I'm going to do a bit more research on it, but given the partnerships they've already made in China, I'm pretty ready to pull the trigger on that one. So that's kind of one of my tips for today. Not tips. I'm not a financial advisor. Make your own decisions. It's one that I'm bullish on today. There you go. Byteball, yeah, Byteball's Byteball and Bytem. Okay, well, let's have a look at both of them, guys. Byteball was one that I sort of got interested in, but I think they'll do well once some of their functionality that they've built into their crypto hits market, because it's pretty clever. It is. Oh, it's done pretty well. Could have got it at 280. Remember, we were looking at it at 280. I never picked any up, and that's a really nice upward trend. That's a really nice upward channel starting to form on the chart there for the US dollar value. So I honestly think that if you are into Byteball, and I think it's got some really clever functionality in the, it's almost like a, you know, crypto can be released conditionally. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Go and have a look at it, but it's to do with almost integrating social media with crypto, that kind of thing. That's what I saw as one of its main differences, like the messaging service and things like that. But it looked pretty interesting on the face of it. But one thing I wasn't really understanding is how it has transaction fees, because I was understanding it was built on Tangle technology. So I've still got to have a bit more of a look into it to fully understand what it's offering. But it's a really nice looking chart, to be honest. It's a really good looking chart. And I know that a couple of the guys in the crew are into it. Joe, you've killed it on Bottom. You got that to us, 3x from where you got it to us. But you said that there was going to be good developments in November and December. Joe bought it to us. This is Crypto Care Joe in October, 2x, let's say. I think you bought it to us at about 8 cents, maybe a little bit around that. I can't even remember, but I know it was well under 16 cents, which it's at the moment. So that's Bottom. 161 million market cap at the moment. And again, a really, really nice looking solid upward trend towards the overall graph. So yeah, good to see. Okay. Top right, select English. Oh, I'm well past there. Sorry, I'm coming back down to live chat, guys. I've missed a lot. Byteball has ICOs on their ICOs on their platform. Several small projects have been developed on there. Although it's in its infancy, Byteball is similar to Ethereum platform on which other things can be built. Yeah, okay, so it's a DApp platform, no problem. Mike said I'll stick with IOTA and others at the moment, but it is on periphery of my site. Okay, well, let's have a look at IOTA. Speaking of IOTA, I've actually kept on, I've just continued to stock up on IOTA. I have, just buying little bits here and there when it dips. Nothing major, but it's sitting nice, 429. Wilkie called this, well, I spoke to Wilkie last night and he said it'll dip to 3 or below 3 even. And I said, I don't know, man. And he said, yep. And I said, I don't know, man. He's like, yeah, it will. Oh, I don't think so. He's like, oh, I'm pretty sure it will. And then I was like, nah, okay, this is getting silly. All right, so yeah, Wilkie was of the opinion that it had gone too parabolic, because if you have a look at the chart, it went bloody parabolic. So he was of the opinion it had to come back, but I don't know. I think there was a lot of good news surrounding IOTA, and a lot of scare that got us there in the first place. I mean, it was MIT that came out and basically identified bugs in the IOTA software, if you like. But the thing that was great was they actually contacted IOTA, told them about it, and gave IOTA the chance to fix it before they actually released the paper saying that they'd found problems. So it was all fixed by the time that paper released. But I wish I'd known this at the time, because the market really reacted heavily to that, and it went all the way down to 44 cents. And all you were hearing was, oh, IOTA security scares, IOTA security scares. But if you really dug into it and looked through, you'd have to join a few dots to get there. But it turned out that, yeah, MIT had actually pre-warned IOTA about the article and given them a chance to fix it. So that's pretty cool. So perhaps, it was unfair to start with where it had dropped to, and therefore it makes the growth to $4 less parabolic relative to the coin price should have been stable at $1 and not had that scare news down to 44 cents. Anyway, that's just one theory. I think long-term, IOTAs, I've said this for a long time, it's a great hedge against Bitcoin, because it's two totally different types of technology in terms of Tangle technology. Adam Erickson, Litecoin is mooning like crazy, man. It has been madness ever since, really even passing $100. But then that announcement came out about Litecoin being accepted on Steam, and oh man, it's been crazy. The best thing is I told mum, and she had a couple of friends getting into crypto for the first time. She called me out, what do I do? I said, look, why don't you go and tell your friends if they're putting in $1,000, right? And this was when I said, because they were looking at 1,000, I said, look, tell you what to do. Go 40% Litecoin, 40% Ethereum, and 20% Bitcoin, because I think Litecoin and Ethereum are undervalued compared to Bitcoin. And for people just getting in, they're just getting onto Coinbase, right? So they're not going to go to exchanges and stuff like that. Otherwise, I'd tell them to pick up a big bag of PIVX and forget everything else. No, I'm joking. That wouldn't be responsible. But yeah, so I know that one of my mum's friends followed that advice, so they're going to be pretty happy seeing, because that was when Litecoin was about $100. So cleaned up, right? They've made $400 or $500 in their first week in crypto, not to mention the Ethereum gains, not to mention the Bitcoin gains. So it's been good for them. 237 on Coinbase. Wow, crazy. IOTA recently went crazy. Even if it's bullish in the long term, you know how the market works. Why not take some of your profits and get involved with the other DAG project? IOTA, aka Bitcoin, Byteball, aka Ethereum, makes sense. I wouldn't call IOTA anything. Well, I don't think IOTA is even close to Bitcoin. So no. Byteball might be similar to Ethereum in that it's a DApp platform, but are they moving to proof of stake? I think there's enough differences. I mean, just because they're both DApp platforms, I don't necessarily think they're the same. And IOTA and Bitcoin are, in my opinion, very, very different propositions. Let's have a look. Do you ever play around with trading those Bittrex pump and dumps when something moves 200% one day just because? Laugh out loud. Joe, no, I don't. Well, I do. I do play pump and dumps with every single coin in the economy, because if you found a coin in this economy that hasn't had a parabolic growth and a significant retracement, I'd like to see it. I haven't seen one like that. Everything goes through its stages of overhyped and getting retracement. Like the swings are bigger than normal markets. So am I involved in pump and dumps? Absolutely not. I accidentally got involved in one in the early stages, but I wasn't one of the dumpers. I was one of the ones left holding the bag. So yeah, it's not something I get involved in, but one thing I do recommend is always have sell orders set. Like as soon as you buy a coin, as soon as you buy your bag, set some sell orders on it, because if you make 20% in an hour, take it. You know what I mean? Take 20% in 1 hour. Not for the whole bag, but let's say you buy 100 coins of anything and it runs, you know, at 20%, maybe take 20% of your investment off the table. And then if it drops back down again, you can use that 20% that you've already taken off to buy back and accumulate more coins and rinse and repeat. But you can scale out of it, even if you dump your whole bag in. Like I like to scale into it as well. But if you've just bought the whole bag, I honestly recommend setting sell orders straight away. Even if you're just setting a couple of sell orders at 50% or 2x, and it's just like for 20% of your bag or something like that, set them, because you'd be surprised how often the quick spike happens within half an hour. And unless you're awake and at your computer, you missed it. And you go, oh, I could have sold for $6. No, you couldn't, because you weren't prepared. You would have had to be super lucky to sell it at $6 or whatever, you know, at 2x. So always be prepared. Have your sell orders set in advance. That's the best advice I can give. Ah, Jay, 700 subscribers, have I? You stoked. I was so, hold on. It's awesome. I'm stoked for 700 subscribers. I saw Crypto Daily has taken on 10,000 subscribers in the last 10 days. I've got to say his raps aren't as good as mine. No, thanks, Jace. Yeah, it's been fun. Love the crew. Love the Crypto Wave investment crew, man. It's been a fun and profitable space, and positive, and that's what I like. Positive, fun, profitable, all good things, right? So it's been great. Looking forward to 2018. Maybe split yourself across the top 10 highest cap coins that aren't on Coinbase. Seems like a safe way to ride the wave upward. No, I don't. I'm going to go ahead and disagree again, Joe. Sorry, man. Let me check out the top 10 coins that aren't on Coinbase, and let's see if I can find a few that I disagree with you, and I can disagree with one straight away. Bitcoin Cash. I don't hate it. I just don't understand its value proposition. I don't understand its price at the moment, and that's my opinion. It's overpriced for its stage of development, for its infancy as an actual currency, and for the developers and you know, use cases it's got. I think it's overpriced. So there's one in the top 10 that's not on Coinbase that I would probably, you know, for me personally, I would stay away from it. I don't see its value proposition above and beyond Bitcoin. The only value it's got is some of its PR people and the fact it's got Bitcoin in front of its name. So there's one in the top 10 that I would stay away from. Okay, Bitcoin I like, Ethereum I like, Litecoin I like, IOTA I like, Ripple I like as an investment philosophically. That's one I wouldn't invest on. Dash, again, I like as a company, but philosophically one I wouldn't personally invest on. Monero's pretty good. I'd take Monero, so I'm with you on that. I'm with you on NEM. Bitcoin Gold, I'd leave alone. Vertcoin's better than Bitcoin Gold. What's this doing up here? What's this doing up here and Vertcoin doing down here? It's 10 times its bloody value. Can someone tell me why Bitcoin Gold's better than Vertcoin? It's 12 times its value. It's 13 times its value. Can someone tell me, if someone can explain that to me, that'd be fantastic. Again, because it's got this in front, Bitcoin. But yeah, so, sorry, I thought I was on screen share there. I know I'm not. But yeah, so Bitcoin Gold I'd stay away from. So there's like 4 out of the top 10 that I personally wouldn't be investing in. 2 because of philosophical reasons. I still think they're solid investments. But 2 because I honestly think they're not. They're overvalued. They're overvalued at the current stage of development. So that being Bitcoin Gold and Bitcoin Cash. So there you go. Yeah, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but that was mine on the what's not available on CoinMarketCap. Jow, how are you, man? Iota Frenzy is still so unwarranted, and yes, I'm butthurt, but it doesn't change the fact that Iota Frenzy is nuts way too early. Yes and no. Ethercept, it's super impressive technology, man. Like it is super impressive. Like I said, it's a coin flip. It's one that you got to be prepared to rip it up and throw away. And if you're prepared with that for Iota, you will either rip it up and throw it all away, because that will happen. Like Tangle technology will have security issues going forward. It won't be proven, and something else will come along, or blockchain is proven to be the more secure method of operation. Now, if you get those things, Iota will essentially fall to near zero. But if Iota is successful in their vision for what Iota can achieve in terms of being a payment medium between machines talking to machines, if they can achieve that and get the level of mass adoption that they have in their roadmap, I guess, and then in their vision, then yeah, I think it's a drop in the ocean of what it's going to be. And good to see Ethercept. I saw Verge is actually having a good run. Let's have a look at Verge. I saw it was up to like almost 0.9 of a cent, I think, from down at 0.5% Ethercept when you were telling everyone Verge is maybe not a bad buy at this point. Yeah, it is. It's heading up there. So 0.88 of a cent for Verge. Looking good, man. Strong growth patterns towards the end of this chart. So really nice to see for Verge and Ethercept. Loving that one, mate. All right. Let's see what else we got in the chat. Day trading or minute trading, as in reality, is in reality very addicting. I'm a competitive chess player, and this stuff requires a similar type of thinking. Joe, yeah, absolutely. I played poker, man. It's the same thing. It's all about, yeah, it's psychology, right? In this case, math psychology. In this case, heavily emotionally driven math psychology. Oh, you're not even chilling Verge anymore. Just collecting my millions. Oh, that's good. That's good. No, I like Verge Ethercept. I always said that. Good, solid, anonymous coin. No, I've noticed you've quietened down on the shilling, but you know, Verge, got to give credit where credit's due. And Ethercept said, look, 50 cent, 0.5 cent. Sorry, too low, guys. Pick up some. So he's done well. He's led the crypto wave investment crew into a good one there. Let's have a look at. You know what I'd like to have a look at? I want to see how PIVX is going, because that's my coin to shill, because I've spent a lot of time working there with the community and love it. Absolutely love it. Some really exciting developments coming out, guys. I've got to check with the team when I can actually announce that to you as well. But you are going to love what we have coming out. $4.68. $4.68. Oh, do-da-dee. Yeah, pretty happy with that, obviously. I was, you know, I thought it was too low, below $4. I've said for a long time, I think it was unwarranted for us to cop such harsh criticism over a couple, at max, at most, a month of teething issues with Zero Coin Protocol. That seems unfair. Our value as a company shouldn't have copped that much of a hit. And thank you to the market for finally forgiving us and getting us well. Like, it does seem like a distant thing in the past now, right? And I probably shouldn't even bring it up. But hey, it did happen. No use hiding from it. Point is, we never had any security issues. Never had hackings or anything like that. It's just a bit of a teething issue with the software upgrade in what was one of the most complex upgrades the economy's seen in implementing zero coin protocol into a proof of stake coin. It's a reason it hadn't been done before. Not easy. So good work to the PIVX developers on getting that one right, and thank you to the market and to the investors for holding on and for that confidence being restored. So really, really nice growth in PIVX. Happy to see that. Really happy for me as well, because a lot of the crypto wave investment crew do hold, you know, some only a very small amount and some are quite a substantial bag. So I'm always riding that one a little harder than the others. So really good. Ethercept, did you see my interview with Roger Ver? I released it like an hour ago, man. Go check out the video. Fish stirring the pot again. Yeah, so what are your thoughts on, guys, I want to ask you a couple of questions. Since most of you in, most of you in the economy will be aware of at least Litecoin and Bitcoin, can I start getting some predictions on a Litecoin to Bitcoin ratio? Now, Charlie Lee has put out a 4 Litecoin equals 1 Bitcoin ratio. Now, if that's to hold solid, Litecoin needs to grow to a little over $4,000, $4,250 at the moment. He's saying this by the end of 2018. Now, that's assuming that Bitcoin holds a steady price. Yeah, I know what you're saying, Ethercept. It does seem to be a correlating percentage, doesn't it? Ethercept's noticed, Ethercept has noticed, I think this is what you're referring to, Ethercept. 25% is upper end. Yeah. Okay. Ethercept has noticed a relationship which did correlate between Litecoin and Bitcoin until the recent Litecoin mooning, let's call it. But it was 10 to 1. It was pretty much being sold at a consistent rate, as consistent can be in a super volatile economy. So, yeah, I think 25% upper end as well, but I wouldn't go past it. If you have a look at I personally think Litecoin is better than Bitcoin. That's my personal opinion. I'd have to have a look into the inflation rates to figure out how many Litecoin are actually going to be produced at the rate they're going to be produced over Bitcoin. But as it stands currently, you've got about 3.5 times as many Litecoin in circulation as Bitcoin. Now, if I think Litecoin's better, then maybe I come to a 1 in 3.5 valuation. So that's like what's 28? 1 in 3 valuation, yeah, so 28%. I actually get a higher ratio than what Charlie Lee's come up with. I don't know. That's a funny thing in doing all this. It depends so much on Bitcoin's scalability, and well, that's the key thing for me. It really does depend heavily on Bitcoin's scalability going forward. Simple as that for me. If they can scale it out so it's super quick and super cheap, I think they'll continue to hold a reasonable dominance over many of the coins, actually. But if they keep dragging their feet on implementing things, the masses are coming in, they're finding out for themselves that Litecoin's cheaper and faster to move. I think it's a danger time for Bitcoin, and Litecoin could certainly get up to those crazy valuations against Bitcoin. And just remember, that doesn't mean that Litecoin has to go mooning, and Bitcoin could come down. People go, oh, Litecoin is better, and they start moving Bitcoin into Litecoin. So it doesn't necessarily mean a new flood of money into Litecoin. Fresh money into the economy. It can just be moved, and that is possible. Yeah. That's a good point. Let's have a look. I know many will hate this, but I may be trading in 1 Bitcoin for 10 Bitcoin Cash soon. A lot of chatter for Bitcoin Cash of late. I see Bitcoin Cash creeping up 25% of BTC, then going higher. I'm just waiting for a dip. Yeah, look, Ethercept, I've got to tell you, man, it's not about being popular all the time, right? It depends on what you're trading for. And honestly, I tend to agree that that's going to be a profitable trade. I don't think Roger, like I just spoke to him, and Dr. Evil, but I don't think it's going to be, I don't think it's just going to roll over and die, man. And I think Bitcoin Cash is starting to get accepted in more places with the work that Roger's doing. Where was one that I saw really recently that Bitcoin Cash was going to be accepted over Bitcoin, and then there was going to be an exchange open up that was only Bitcoin Cash trading or Bitcoin Cash pairing. So, you know, they are making some moves. The reason I won't invest in it is because of this is partially philosophical, but partially because I think it's overbought for where it is. It's a really new currency, and I think we need to be aware of that and give some respect to the 10 years of development from the core team for Bitcoin. I think that's fair. I think the Bitcoin Cash trying to call themselves the real Bitcoin is an insult to the community that voted for SegWit. I think using the prefix Bitcoin is lazy and a ripoff. And I also don't think their scaling solution is any better than Bitcoin's currently long term. So why would I want to? I don't. Do I think you'll make money on that trade, Ethercept? Yeah, probably. And that's the way the game goes, right? But for me, I've always been like, if I got on that with you, and then Bitcoin Cash halved, I'd be like, I didn't even want it in the first place. What was I doing? Just trying to make money, and it would make me really upset. So I tend not to trade just to make money. I've got to have some belief in the company, and got to have some even some philosophical grounds to be investing, and that way I can not care if it loses. But oh, by the way, guys, I got in contact with David Copesell. I sent him an email like I said I would. And he said he'd love to come on the show. So we'll sort out some details, and we'll get the CEO of Encryption, David Copesell, to come on the show. He's a really, really good guy. And that was the first crypto I did any work for, my internship, if you like, in crypto. It's only very brief. I just did some interviews and talked to David about the project and wrote a couple of articles for him. So yeah, it was really good. And Dave's got back to me first day. Like I said, he'd be that busy at the moment, and he still had time to sit down and send me an email and say, hey, thanks, Fish, man. Well, yeah, we'll definitely come on the show. I don't think he really uses man like I just did, but you get the point. So Dr. David Copesell will be coming on the show. I haven't set a date with him yet, but keep an eye out for that one. So yeah, if you're not already a subscriber, now that I'm up to a massive number of 700, cop that Crypto Daily, cop that Coin Mastery, cop that, all you 50,000 sub people. Yeah, please subscribe, because we've got a couple of great interviews coming up. We've got Q-Link coming on the show on Friday as well, which should be a whole lot of fun. A couple of the Q-Link core team coming on to speak about the use of blockchain in the telecommunications industry. Really exciting ICO that's going on at the moment. All right, let's have a look. What's the comments got to say? Joe's been saying for a while that Bitcoin will act as digital gold. Something else will be the useful crypto. I don't think they're prepared to accept that role, Joe. That's the problem. I think that would have been their best long-term strategy, is to accept the store of wealth argument and not to try and keep playing currency battles with inferior technology. It's true. I know a lot of people are going to hate me for that, but it's true. It's not as quick, and it costs more to move. So it's heavily centralized as well, if you look at mining. So yeah, I think that they should have accepted the store of wealth argument a long time ago, and they would have avoided a lot of issues. But yeah, if they're going to continue to play the currency game, I think that actually leaves them susceptible to be beaten, because there are faster currencies and cheaper currencies. Store of wealth would have been the go. I'd still be recommending it to them. And I'm sure they're going to take Fish's opinion real seriously. Ethercep's going for a dollar verge, so still got about 110x to go from here. Nice and conservative. That's good to see. A lot of people have worked numbers from $1.18 to $2.80. God, even I'll be rich, Ethercept, and I got a reasonable bag, man. I've been holding Verge for 5 months. I've been holding Verge since June or July, because my video in July that I put out was called Buy in July, or Verge Buy in July, and it was about the Android wallet release coming out. And I just said, look, it's new tech coming out. If it's received well by the market, you'll get the run up. Yeah, so it was one of my first sort of currencies that I really liked. I like the anonymous currencies, man. You might notice that I got in, well, at least currencies with anonymous features. So like PIVX and Verge. I got into Monero early as well. So I picked up quite a few anonymous currencies early. Yeah, Joe, that's it, eh? Joe said that don't forget Bitcoin is bringing out side chains and scalability. That's a true point, man. But Joe, again, while this is exciting developments, I'm worried about the wins, because this is a fast-paced economy. This is a super, super fast-paced industry, and people working around the clock 24/7 on every major coin in the economy. So it is somewhat a race, and we're trying to position ourselves as well as we can for mass adoption, including PIVX. Of course we are. Everyone is. That's what all the currencies are doing at the moment, as well as they can. Now, where Bitcoin is letting themselves down a little bit is the speed with which they're implementing any new technology. If you look at SegWit, I don't believe it's overlaid in a lot of cases still. It's still not being used. Still not a lot of SegWit-enabled wallets. Yeah, I just think that they, I think it was what, 2 years ago that they first started talking about SegWit, and so we're hearing the testing of the Lightning Network is successful, but how long? And then how long for sidechains and all these other things? So the problem is that while other coins are actually hitting development targets and proving that they're on the ball and continuing to develop, Bitcoin have somewhat been dragging their feet. Call it how I see it. I know that makes me super unpopular. I've been very lucky with calls recently, staying ahead, loaded into Monero and LTC before the run-ups. Yeah, they were always good bets, Ethercept. Monero had a huge community building behind it for a long time. It got undervalued when it got pumped undervalued when there was scare around Palm Beach Collective were taking their money out of it. And I think that was the last chance you really got to buy it nice and cheap at around $80. Litecoin was always going to be undervalued. We'd been calling that with some confidence, which I don't. I always like to tell people to make their own decisions, of course, but we were very bullish on Litecoin. I don't think we ever really got bearish on it, especially when AccuFi came in and gave us good reason to understand the mining perspective and why the hashing power had moved temporarily, in his opinion, and would move back to Litecoin. And when he gave us that perspective, it really solidified my view that Litecoin was undervalued. So yeah, it's been nice. I've never seen it, Ethercept. Now we've got, that's just, so I came up with Fibonacci, then Smithonomics comes in, and now Ethercept's coming with Etherceptonaci. No. The currency battle will send, sorry, Joe. The currency, where was that comment? That was an interesting one. The currency battle will send Bitcoin flying upward and then right back down. The money will flow into the altcoins and the entire space. Interesting perspective. There does seem to be a trend of money that flows into the top first. A lot of people getting through Coinbase. The numbers suggest that. The numbers heavily suggest that. If you look at their top trending app, the number of subscriptions they're getting each week. So anything listed on Coinbase has a massive advantage in the economy. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum. So that's, people get those three coins and then they start going, oh, what else can I get? Because honestly, a lot of people download, can I tell you my mentality through this? I downloaded Coinbase to get Bitcoin. I went, what the hell's Litecoin and Ethereum? And like, I just sort of watched them for a bit and they were just ticking around. I went, you know what? And I literally just bought them without even knowing what they were. Now, how many people do you reckon might have done that as well? But then you actually go into the process of finding out how good these are, and you find out about other coins, and you might do a little Google search or something, Ethereum or Litecoin, and then you get these videos come up and someone's talking about Litecoin and PIVX. And it's like, well, what's PIVX? And that's how that's how I found my way into the economy. It was actually, I bought some Litecoin and Ethereum first because I was like, it's not much money, just chuck it in. And then I actually went and had a look at them. And then obviously when I searched for Litecoin and Ethereum, I started to find out, oh, hang on, there's all these other ones as well. So yeah, it's just, that process of discovery, right? And then I start to research the other coins. I find out some of the things that blockchain's being used for. I find out about ICOs. So you see this pattern of the money that always tends to start at those top 3 coins and then flows sometimes into the altcoins, sometimes not. And in a lot of cases, since I've been in the economy, you would have been better off just holding those top 3. That's the truth. Since I got into the economy, I can tell you that PIVX is 3x'd, Bitcoin is 5x, Litecoin is 7x, and Ethereum is 2 to 2.5x. So that's a in most cases, the only one that had actually outperformed Bitcoin in those examples that I gave is Litecoin, and that's only because of the recent run up. Until that, it was actually Bitcoin outperforming the rest of them, despite the fact the rest of them had gone up. So that's an interesting thing to keep into perspective as well. I think that will change. I really do. I think the dominance has gotten too high for a coin that's not scalable, at least not yet. Like that's it. I'm doing more current stage of development and that sort of thing. And I think a lot of people are investing aware that these scaling solutions are coming. Me, I'd prefer to see them undergo some actual time in the network and see that all's going well before I just go, okay, yeah, all's going to be fine. And the other thing about them being a little bit slow to implement things worries me as well. Oh, Elliot Wave Ethiot. Oh, that's actually really clever, Joe. Nice pun. That's what you should have called it, Ethercept. So instead of the Etherceptinacci sequence, leave it as Fibonacci sequence. So Joe's made a trading pun that Ethercept should call it the Ethiot wave theory. Nice, man. Ethercept's just explaining the Ethiot wave theory, which is I look at the top 10. When we get down to two out of 10 that haven't moved comparative to the rest, I buy those too. I mean, I really wouldn't be surprised if that actually works. Etherceptonomics just rolls off the tongue. I don't know. They said it probably won't be for another 6 months, like a month and a half ago. That I think Joe's talking about, referring back to the Bitcoin side chains and Lightning Network actually being implemented to the actual blockchain. And he said that's not good, especially with how much Bitcoin has been bought lately. Joe says the name Bitcoin sounds cheesy. Ethereum sounds new age and fancy. Soccer mums will brag about their Ethereum at Starbucks. Bitcoin is for nerds. Think culture, man. At this stage, I'd be pitching to the nerds because the nerds are running this space at the moment. Okay, I'm going to get back down to live chat. Kennex Master, I sold my $27 Litecoin at $100. I hate my life. Oh man, Kennex Master, can I tell you something, brother? Crash coming soon. I don't know, man. Let me just respond if Kennex is still in their house. Kennex, sorry, it often takes me a little bit to catch up to the live chat, but I'll tell you a story. It's going to make you feel better. The regulars have kind of heard this a little bit, but Kennex, I haven't seen you in the chat before, man. So I wanted to tell you a bit of a story that's going to make you feel better about dumping your Litecoin at 100. Because if you dumped it 100, like it pretty much went there and shot straight past there, right? So I'm assuming you bought it for less than that. Always remember that you still profited. You still made a profitable trade, man. That's a win. That's a win. Don't start counting your could have had profits as losses. That will mess your head up. But I do it as well. And let me tell you a story. I bought Neo, formerly known as Ant Shares, when it was $1.30. I dumped my whole bag at $10. Whole bag at $10. So yeah, happens to the best of us, mate. Like you've just got to. That's why I don't dump now. I literally scale in and out of investments to give myself a better chance of holding on to those parabolics that never come back. Yeah, I dumped at 10 and thought I was a hero and turned out to be an idiot. So yeah, I learned my lesson on that one. Don't feel bad, Ken X Master. I'm assuming you made money if you dumped at 100. So a win's a win. That's just. I don't even, Joe. I can't even read that one out. Crash coming soon. Ken X Master. I thought a correction was possible. I just think volatility is the flavor of the month at the moment. And I think volatility will be the flavor of the month until we see what happens with CBOE and CME trading over the next month, let's say. When those first contracts start to finish and we get the new contract the third month down from that, and we start to see the prices on that and we start to get a bit more information coming in, I think volatility is going to be the flavor of the month. I don't necessarily think it's going to be a crash or a pump. It just seems super volatile at the moment. I mean, honestly, it's the 20 grand down to 13, back to 17. They're big moves, guys. You know, it should literally be they should be closing down CBOE trading. They do. If there's swings that big, they shut it down for a predetermined amount of time until the market settles down. Chappie, how's things? Breadcrumb bombers. How much LTC do I have? Oh man, I don't disclose investments, not for personal. 10 million. No, I'm joking. Fishbear, you may have already noticed Binance now has stopped limits. Found this today. Yeah, it has stop limits. Yeah, actually, BB Junkie, that's a really good point because Binance is a platform that I do trade on, and it's an important. I don't use stop losses, bro. It's not something I do. You know me, BB Junkie. I'm the stubborn prick who holds until I'm right. Stuff the stop losses. It'll go back, I'm sure of it. But yeah, stop losses are important for a lot of people in their trading strategies. Me, I don't use them. But most people tell you that's ridiculous. So I tell those people to piss off. But yeah, no, that's good. It's a good addition from Binance. I did actually hear, I think it was Coin Mastery. He said that might have been Coin Mastery, it might have been Crypto Daily. No, it was Crypto Daily because I was giggling at the time. That dude's funny. Yeah, but he did say that like one of the things that was keeping people on Bittrex is their really good, user interface and the functionality in the terms of that they do offer stop losses. Now that Binance have actually secured that as well, that's going to be interesting to see whether they can actually capture some of the market from Bittrex. So I've got to say that Binance are actually, look, they are making some moves to position themselves well for when the decentralized exchanges come. I know that they must know that they're going to be a threat, but their trade fees are actually pretty reasonable. And I know from people who have traded on different exchanges that have difficult user interfaces that, the 0.05% you pay on Binance for your trade fees, if you own the Binance coins, people will pay that just because they like the platform. It's easy to use, it's secure and all the rest of it. So I think they're positioning themselves quite well with moves like that, and with having Ether trading, Bitcoin trading, Binance trading, and US dollar tether trading. I think they've given a few options. They've grown to over 1 million members already, guys. It's one of the top 5 volume. It's one of the top 5 exchanges by volume. It was only, goodness gracious, 2-3 months ago that they had virtually no coins listed on there, and they were still hitting top volumes. So they've got some big traders on there. Now would be the winner fish. Yeah, now is a good bet. I think now will do well. How much was Ant Shares when I got in? Joe, $1.30. Sucks, man. I dumped the whole bag at 10. Whoever Coinbase offers is going to be the big players. And that's what Bitcoin Cash has going for it. Getting back to something, because it has been confirmed that Bitcoin Cash is going to be added to Coinbase, and I think that will be the first of the alts to be added. But I've also read that there is going to be a big wave of altcoins being offered through Coinbase in 2018. I'm not sure of timing, and I'm not sure of the coins that are going to be offered, but apparently they're widening their position on the fiat to crypto exchange, which would be great to see. Okay, just catching up with live again, guys. Sorry I've been taking a while to catch up with comments today. It's because I go on a blab after each one. Adam Erickson's just said Litecoin's at 264. It just keeps going. We should create a channel on the Discord for portfolio tips for tracking and or lending, spreadsheet helpful. Yeah, we can do that, man. Ethersep, just hit me up, or yeah, exactly. We can both create those things. Geronimo Bauer, LTE Wednesday 13 will end at 77. LTE Wednesday 13. I don't. Oh, Big Connect. Joe says, Charlie, stop loss is great. I wish I had used them instead of taking profits off the book on IOTA. Yeah, man, you can do that. That's a good point. It does open up, honestly, it does open up smarter strategies, but I'm just not one to use stop losses, man. It always tends to bite me. Like I miss it by a point and stuff like that. It shits me to tears. If LTC holds at 250 level, watch for a rise on Monero. Monero should always be higher than LTC. Much more limited, private, etc. I'm going to go ahead and disagree, Ethercept. I think it's got value. I think it's got value to add to the economy the same way LTC has value to add to the economy. I think that LTC actually having a face in Charlie Lee helps them get into a lot of better situations in terms of businesses. So I don't necessarily agree that Monero should always be higher than LTC. I think they're both good currencies. I think Monero has a place in being an anonymous currency in the economy. No problem with that. But higher than LTC, I don't know. I can't use Monero on Steam. And that's a pretty, not that I'd want to. It's a bloody video game, so why would I want that? Sorry to all the video game fans. But LTC is more widely accepted, man. And while LTC is more widely accepted and more widely available, I have to actually say that I think LTC is more valuable. That can certainly turn around if Monero gets added to Coinbase and then accepted by a bunch of different stores and all the rest of it. And look, I think that's going to be something that you're going to see more of in 2018, to actually balance this out with actually giving something back to Ethercept's point, because he does have a point about Monero being a very good currency. And I think in 2018, you're going to see stores being able to offer like people who are really savvy, and this is what I've just kind of given myself a wrap. But I think what I'm planning on doing with my store is opening it up, if I can, and make it that, because I sell collectible coins, as in, you know, old coins and things like that. So what I'm going to do is make that a coin-to-coin exchange, if you like. So it's all going to be available for purchasing crypto. But I think I'm just going to accept any crypto. And if I can, I'll have a system on there that would pretty much allows you to convert the dollar price, which I have listed on the side, into any crypto and pay in that crypto. And I'll accept in crypto. So therefore, I think if more businesses take that route, you're actually going to be able to pay in like a significant range of cryptos rather than just 1, 2, 3. And, you know, even Living Room of Satoshi in Australia, which is really the best option for us to get back into fiat currency or into our banks or things like that without, you know, the crypto, depending on the crypto debit card you're using. But one of the simplest methods without a crypto debit card is Living Room of Satoshi. And they only accept like 10 currencies. Not only, it's great, they accept 10, but I think in the future, you're going to see stores just saying, oh, basically, which currency do you want to pay with? And you know, there'll be ways and means for them to actually move that, even using, you know, bots to actually move that directly to an exchange and sell it for either BTC, Ether, US dollars, whatever they want to do. I think you'll see more of that facilitation on the merchants end come into play in 2018, 2019. As people start to do the figures, you know, the reality is that there are people desperate to spend their crypto. There are, and they're looking for places. So I think as important as making your crypto widely available, you know, in this crypto race that we're in for mass adoption, as important as making it widely available on different exchanges in different pairings in different US dollars, Korean dollars, Australian dollar, Korean won, Australian dollars. As important as that is, it's equally important to have it as spendable in as many different places as possible. So I think that's going to be a really important part of the race. Ethercept said, I agree with that. Lee is smarter looking than Fluffy Pony. I think Monero is going to end up between Zcash price and Dash price. Yeah, cool. I think all those projects are solid projects, by the way, all bringing decent value additions into the economy. Yeah, a lot of Dash is marketing Ethercept, but they've been clever about it. They've gone the corporate route and they've done it well. I can't bash that. It's just not for me. They've done bloody well. Can't argue with that. I think privacy coins might largely depend on how much governments interfere. Well, governments really, I think what Pablo's getting at there, if governments continue to try and interfere more and more and more and more, that privacy coins may actually become more popular because they're, you know, it is possible to send anonymous transactions. So, yeah, I think that's a possibility. You can set that up on Bittrex already. We'll transfer whatever you want for BTC. Oh, that's sweet, Joe. Oi, Joe, if you know much about that, man, can you like, I'll message you on Discord. Can you help us? Because I need to set that up for my coin store. I'm almost ready to start selling, man. I'm even thinking about making it only available in crypto. And you know what that means? I've got collectible coins, which means it's a one of a kind. It means it's that coin with that grading and you can't get it anywhere else. And if I'm the seller, I demand the payment that I want, and I want it in crypto, not in Australian dollars, because I don't want to be mucking around with PayPal and those bunch of pricks. Not in a US dollar that I'm going to have to pay an exchange fee to make work for me in Australia. I might make it crypto only and make it the first numismatic store in the world to go crypto only. Be cool, right? Anyone want some collectible coins? I've got some good ones. Oh, sweet. Joe, I'll speak to you about it, man. We're almost set up with that store. Coinbase Collect, if anyone's interested. We're only just setting it up. We haven't quite finished it yet, but coinbasecollect.com. We're just getting some of the early stock up there, but yeah, I'm thinking I'm just going to make it all in crypto. See how we do that. But yeah, I'd love to speak to you about that, Joe, because you know, as the price, what I don't understand, Joe, like if I say like it's $5 for this coin, you know, $5, how does that relate? Like, can we get a program that relates it to the current price of each and every crypto? So the price in crypto fluctuates with the market to make it fair for the customer. Is that doable? I'm sorry, we shouldn't be having this conversation in the middle of crypto chat. We'll talk about it after, Joe. I've got to talk to you about the mining thing as well. Korean dollars. Yeah. Nice one, BB Junkie. He's referring to my mess up before when I was on a rant and I went Australian dollars, US dollars, Korean dollars. He said Korean dollars? Trump hasn't invaded yet. No, but it won't be long. Oh, that was good. Banks will want privacy for themselves and will work with the governments to take privacy away from consumer citizens. Exactly what they do now. They'll certainly try Ethercept. They don't feel safe with consumers having privacy. Can have it calculating from the average of coin market cap. Yeah, cool, man. That's exactly what I was wanting to do, Joe. I just don't know how to even start going about it, man. But if we can do that fairly easily, I can open my coin store. Banks are basically snitches for the governments here in USA. Yeah, man, banks are snitches for the governments everywhere. That's why they're well protected by the governments as well. That's why we bail them out when they lose all the money. That really baffles me how banks can lose money. It's like the ultimate printing press. It's better than having a mint. I'd rather have a bank than a mint to mint money. Less cost. You can create it out of thin air. At a mint, you've got the cost of running the paper through. The bank is just ones and zeros, duplicating money in a computer. For those of you who haven't investigated about the fractional reserve banking system. Fish, I have thousands of coins I have to go through. I've never found the time. Stamps too, inherited them, all old stuff. Seems like such a bit task or undertaking. Yeah, it can be Ethercept. I've got 5 tons, bro. 5 tons of collectible coins. 5,000 kilograms. 1,100, 5,000, that would be 11,000 pounds. 11,000 pounds of coins. So I've got some coins to go through myself. But you find some, you find some pretty expensive ones. It's worth going through. It depends on years, mint marks, condition is key. And never clean one, Ethercept. Never clean a coin. Anyone who's got any old coins, the best thing you can do is put them in something protective, not plastic preferably, because that can scratch the coin itself. But don't touch it too much. Don't try and clean it. And send me a message on Discord. I'll value it for you. It's what I used to do in one of my other professions. So, yeah, 5 tons Ethercept. I bought 5 tons of mixed international coins for 45,000 Australian dollars. I find gold. I find silver. I found coins that are over 2,000 years old. I found coins that were minted last year. I've got bags full of Peruvian sols. One bag like this, because the Peruvian sols denominations are quite valuable compared relative to the weight. One bag would be worth like $1,100, $1,000 Australian, easy. You only clean your Bitcoin, yeah. That's it. Give the Bitcoin a good polish. No, that's late 1890s through 1970s, mostly USA. Well, they're usually the most valuable coins from the US Ethercept, because the US market actually leads the collectibles market in numismatics. I think it's the 1941. It was one of the war years. Let's say 1944 steel penny goes for like $250,000, man, $300,000, something like that. You've got, yeah, there's a lot of rare coins in the US that go for a lot of money. Obviously, that's when the economy is doing well, which it hasn't done for 20 years in any part of the world. So, all right, I'm going to check out. I've had enough for today. We've talked a bit of crypto. Let me do an update before I go. Get to the last hour, see how we're trending. I haven't even looked at it. It's probably, I don't know, it was pretty bullish, but nah, it's dropped back a little. I think 458. I can't even remember what it was when we first came on. Let me look at the last hour. View all. Bitcoin's up 0.5% in the last hour. Whoa, Litecoin just keeps going, 255. That's incredible. So bullish. Like, you could have got it this morning at $200. It's gone to 250. And yesterday at 150, you could have got it. So it's gone up, yeah, 60. Well, according to this, it's gone up 67% in the last 24 hours. What's a script with Russian mining coin? Never heard of it. Yeah, so just continuing on, the last hour looks like a good mix of red and green, to be honest. It is very, very mixed. I do think Walton got into good buying today. Let me just see where that's sitting at $7.14. I honestly do believe that around that $7 mark, you're going to see that as good long-term buying. That's one I identified for today. Please make your own decisions, guys. Not a financial advisor, as you all well know, and you all have to make your own decisions. There's plenty of good coins in the economy to have a look at. I'm out. I'll have to have a look at it next time, Floyd. 26K. Look at it next time. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining in for another crypto conversation. Guys, we do have the Q-Link team coming on the show on Friday. Really exciting. And you have an opportunity to speak to the core team of an ICO. You're not going to get that opportunity every day in the crypto economy. So I do suggest you join in for that conversation at 11 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. That's Brisbane time on Friday, this Friday coming. And have your questions ready for the Q-Link team. All right, guys. Thanks for joining in. Fish out. See you later.